Something we don't often acknowledge on this journey to heal is the amount of courage that you will need in order to embark on one of the greatest journeys that you will ever encounter in your lifetime. And courage is definitely a great aspect of what it is that we will need to cultivate within ourselves so that we have the endurance to see things through. And courage will come at many different points in this journey. That will be something that you will really want to inculcate within you and remember to store up as a reserve because you'll need it in many different instances. It's not just only in one aspect of the healing, but really in many different aspects. You may need the courage to even just start this journey. It's almost as if you are opening up Pandora's box. However, once you open it up, it's very hard to stuff back in all of the things that are coming back out without acknowledging that that box is something that you definitely need to invest and start to look in. So courage is needed there. Courage will also be something that you'll need when it comes time to stepping away from people who are preventing you from stepping into your power. Toxic relationships, toxic people, whether that's friends, family, love interests, all of those things will have to be taken into consideration at some point where you'll want to really pull in the power of courage to overcome what may be preventing you from stepping into a greater aspect of your life. The veil has been pulled off. And once that veil has been pulled off, you start to see things clearly in a way that you've never seen them before. Before, you saw things, you knew things, but you weren't really willing to invest the courage into looking into them deeper. And now that you have, you can't unsee the things that you see. And it just so happens that a lot of times the people that we thought we loved the most, that had our back, that would be there to support us through thick and thin, are the very ones who are trying to keep us from healing, keep us from seeing things through no fault, really, sometimes of their own. It's just they don't understand the courage that's needed themselves to step into a higher aspect of who it is they are, a deeper essence of who it is they are. So, courage will be needed in that. Courage will also be needed in the times when you may slip into periods of darkness, as we all do. Sometimes these periods last for a short amount of time. Sometimes they go on for longer than what we really want. And courage will be needed to endure those times because it's a part of the unveiling, it's a part of the uncovering. You are being shown something through these periods of darkness. These periods of darkness don't come as a way of punishing you, but rather it is the ego that keeps you trapped in it once again, that veil of illusion. And the veil of illusion is almost like a band aid, a band aid that has been stuck on your skin for far longer than what it should be. And if you've ever tried to lift up the corner of one of those very good sticky band aids, you know darn well, especially if you have hairy arms, that pulling that band-aid off one little thing at a time is going to hurt like heck. Sometimes that means that that band-aid has to be ripped off. And so the best way of doing that is to just throw you in what feels like sometimes the pits of hell. Again, not as a punishment, but rather as a period of time where you can start to see the truth about your things the ego doesn't want you to see, and your soul wants you to find the light. When you find that light, when you come out of those periods of darkness, the courage that you were able to have to see that through will be something that you will carry with you into whatever happens next. Courage is also greatly needed when we need to step away from the things that society has stuck upon us to keep us from once again finding our light and the power we possess. It comes in the form of diagnosis, it comes in the form of labels, it comes in the form of distractions, the things we tell ourselves that keep us from really stepping into who it is we know we can be. Labels in themselves are not always bad things. And in fact, a lot of times they help us identify with where it is that we fit into society. As humans, we have a tendency, because we are human and we are living in this world of relativity, to wear masks, different types of masks. But masks are never intended to be something that become fixated on us, become an aspect of who it is that we think that we are. We are so much more than that, so much more at a much deeper depth than we could ever possibly imagine. And so while labels might help us figure out where we fit in, where they become dangerous is when we start to believe and think that we are that label. This is what I have. This is what I'm going through. And then we find other people who also wear the same labels. And what that does is it inhibits us even more from stepping in to letting go of what that label is doing to us and find the deeper essence of who it is we are. So that is an aspect that I see quite often in the work that I do, is that many people come because they want to be healed, because they want to step into a newer aspect of themselves. But what always seems to happen is that they don't really understand how addicted they have become to the life that they've been leading and the labels that they've attached to themselves. They've inhibited them from really understanding that it isn't who they are, but they believe it is. It's become a part of their self identity. And to live without those labels, to live without the things that have prevented them from stepping into their power, means that they would become somebody that they don't know. And that in itself is one of the scariest things for most people. So a lot of times I hear, I want to heal, I want to get better, I want to let go. And then when the time comes for that, they disappear, crickets, because it freaks them out. What they don't understand is that it requires courage. It requires courage to step into something unknown, to take the chance, to take the risk, to put your faith and trust in a greater source outside of yourself, that you are about to be shown something that will far, far outweigh what it is that you think you have already currently here in life. That is the courage that's needed. It's also incredibly important to know that courage is needed if you've experienced a healing, to continue to do what is necessary so that healing isn't something that reverts itself back to old traits, behaviors, self-limiting beliefs, but rather continues to step into knowing more, encompassing more, so that you can continue to heal. Because healing is not just a level, surface level aspect, it's layers and layers and layers. And it takes courage to continue on that journey so that you can work through those layers as they come up, releasing and letting go. So there are some different aspects of courage that is needed. And courage is something that you will want to really embody within yourself, empower yourself with in many different forms along this journey. And I want to really praise each and every one of you who have found themselves in some way or form at some point on this journey, really using that courage to know deep down inside that no matter what, you wouldn't trade this journey for anything, because you know that you are about to be shown something that will trump everything that you are currently going through and have been going through. So kudos to all of you. I'm sending tons of love and tons of light. Keep going. You won't be disappointed. Much love and light.